What's going on, everybody? FJC here, back with another finals video. Today, Embark released their biggest update since the release of the game, update 1.5.0. And with this update, a lot of expected changes were made to the game, as well as some other changes that we're going to discuss today. Before I get started with all the updates, if you guys haven't yet, if you could subscribe to the channel and drop a like on the video, that would be greatly appreciated, as it helps me out a ton. With all that out of the way, let's start talking about the updates made to the finals. We're going to start out by talking about the balance changes made, but before I get started with that, if you guys want to take a look at the patch notes yourself, I'm going to leave a link in the description so you guys can take a look at it. We start out with updates to abilities, and the first ability that we have on the list is the Charge and Slam. They fixed an issue where players could charge while stationary and stealing an extraction. The cloaking device, or the invis, for the light character was also changed. They increased the activation cost from 1 to 2 seconds, and they increased the minimum required charge time to activate it from 1.5 to 2.5 seconds. The grappling hook was also changed, and it will no longer attach to objects that are attached to carryables. The Guardian turret will now shoot target dummies in the practice range, which isn't a major change at all. The mesh shield was decreased from 1100 to 1000, which after playing ranked today, I did notice a big difference in that. And the recon senses increased activation cost from 1 second to 1.5 seconds, and they decreased the minimum charge time to activate from 2.5 to 2 seconds. So the biggest takeaway for me from the ability changes were definitely the mesh shield's health being decreased by 100, which actually makes a huge difference. If you have 3 mediums shooting at a mesh shield now, it goes down fairly quickly. And the recon senses, there's definitely a big difference in how long it stays activated for. In my opinion, I definitely don't think recon is in a perfect state yet at all, but I definitely do think this change is a step in the right direction. Next, we move on to gadget changes, and I know 2 gadgets in this list specifically are going to make people very happy that they've been changed. We start out with the C4, and its player damage was decreased from 210 to 155, and the player minimum damage was decreased from 120 to 100. The flashbang's cooldown was decreased from 20 seconds to 18 seconds. I didn't use the flashbang much, so I can't really give an opinion on that. The gas and incendiary cooldowns have both been adjusted to 27 seconds. The vanishing bomb's cooldown was also decreased, like the flashbang, to 18 seconds. The RPG player damage was decreased from 150 to 140, and after playing ranked today on only light class for majority of my day, I did notice that I wasn't dying one shot to an RPG. However, the odd time I did get one shot by the RPG, but it's definitely not as common as before. The stun gun's duration was also affected. The duration of the stun was reduced from 5 to 3.75 seconds. The tracking dart's cooldown was also decreased from 15 to 13 seconds, and they added a new scope zoom sensitivity multiplier to the settings that can affect the tracking dart. Now we move on to game mode changes, which in my opinion, there wasn't a ton of changes that are super crucial. The first change was done to the Banquet game mode, which the game show event start time was reduced from minute 6 to minute 4. Quick Cash also had some changes. The game show event start time was reduced from minute 6 to minute 4 as well, and the team wipe respawn time was increased from 17 to 18 seconds. And as for changes to the tournament game modes, for ranked tournaments, the team wipe respawn time was increased by 1 second from 25 to 26, as the same for the regular tournament mode. However, the regular tournament will now unlock after players have completed 1 round, and previously it was 12. As for map balance changes, they only made balance changes to 1 map, which was Las Vegas. They've updated destruction behavior to get more realistic destruction, updated the strain system to get more realistic destruction. So basically, whenever you destroy a building now, they want the destruction to be a little more realistic, and they updated various zip lines in the level. Now, this next change could be one of the biggest changes that's happened to the finals yet, but this change correlates with the C4 damage, and deployable explosives such as C4, breach charges, and explosive mines will now add mass to throwable objects, causing them to travel less far when thrown. It's no secret that nukes or barrels with C4 on them have been a meta for a little bit now in the finals, and after playing ranked today, the only barrel that I noticed and my teammates noticed that acted similarly to how it was before the patch was the red barrel. Let me know what you guys think about the barrel changes in the comment section down below. Me personally, I'm super happy about it, as for a long time, especially in high level ranked, majority of the heavies that you would run up against, before they'd even fight you, they'd have a barrel prepared. Now we move on to weapon changes, and starting off with the flamethrower, the damage on it was increased from 28 to 30. The LH1's damage was increased from 47 to 49. The M11's recoil pattern was updated to make the weapon easier to control. The SH1 900 shotgun, or the double barrel shotgun, damage was decreased from 12 to 10 damage per pellet, and the M60's damage was increased from 21 to 22. The riot shield also had a couple of changes done to it. They updated the attack animations and hit sweeps to make the weapon feel more responsive, fixed issues where the riot shield could be invisible and still block bullets, and fixed an issue where the riot shield could block bullets while the player climbed a ladder. Next, we move on to the SA-1216, or the heavy shotgun. On this bad boy, they went ahead and fixed an issue that allowed the weapon to be fired faster than intended. Essentially, when the weapon needed to be cocked or the mag needed to be turned, there was an exploit that allowed you to bypass that and shoot faster than intended. Like the tracking dart, the SR-84 also had the scope zoom sensitivity multiplier added to the setting screen for it. The throwing knives got some new trail effects to make the projectiles easier to see, and they shortened the lifetime of knives stuck in metal surfaces to probably help with performance. And the last weapon that had changes done to it was the V9S, or the silent pistol for the light class. Its damage was increased from 35 to 36. Next, we move on to content and bug fixes. We start out with the animations, and they've gone ahead and updated some of the main menu weapon animations, as well as they've added left side inspection animations to every single main weapon. When it comes to audio changes, there's only two. They've gone ahead and replaced an old unattenuated sound on the glitch trap, which basically means they replaced a sound that didn't get reduced previously. And then they've gone ahead and fixed a main menu issue where a zip wire attachment noise would play. Embark also fixed some character issues. They fixed an issue where hair would clip visually with various headwear, fixed some skinning issues that occurred on wrists, and fixed some skinning issues that occurred on gloves. For controllers, you're now going to have the option that allows you to pick the priority over reloading or picking up things. And for consoles, they fixed an issue that allowed mouse and keyboard to be enabled on some consoles, which is pretty big in my opinion. As for crashes, they've gone ahead and fixed a couple of issues there. They fixed a server crash where players would attach to zip lines and disconnect at the same time. They fixed a client crash that would be caused by certain outfits in the battle pass and store screens. And they fixed an issue where game servers could very rarely shut down early due to how players connected. Now we move on to map bug fixes. For the general fixes, they improved the floor number display in elevators, fixed lingering smoke clouds that could appear during the end of round sequence, and fixed team logos not always streaming in during the end of round sequence. As for map specific changes, we start out with fixes on Monaco. They fixed an awning that partially clipped through the path of a zip. They optimized the lighting for the fog and storm weather types. For Seoul, they fixed an initial spawn in the hospital that ran to a small dead end, and fixed some railings that could block bullets. And on Vegas, they fixed an issue where the map border blocked bullets and grenades, fixed a ladder that sometimes caused players to get stuck. They fixed some issues with intersecting and floating assets, and fixed an issue where Las Vegas spotlights would sometimes be called unexpectedly. They've gone ahead and made some changes to movement as well. They fixed an issue where players could slingshot themselves, aka super gliding, by grinding against obstacles during vault interactions. And vaulting, they fixed an issue where players could gain extreme speed by picking up objects that they were being vaulted on, and updated vaulting to feel snappier and be more aligned to ledges. And they also made a change to quick melee, where if they fixed an issue where players could use the quick melee on ladders. One of the last things we're going to talk about today is the UI changes, and there were a ton of changes made to the UI. We start out where they fixed an issue involving the scoreboard text that could be cut short. They fixed a new label that could clip in with the play button in the main menu. Fixed an issue where tournament winners text could be partially visible on both sides of the screen. Fixed an issue where players' names could appear over the face in the end of round screens. Fixed an issue where the career screen could jump during the first frame. They fixed an issue where hover VFX would not be played on video thumbnails. Fixed an issue where some weapon charms and stickers would become unequipable. Fixed an issue where total playtime would reset to 0 on the career screen after 24 hours. And continuing on with the UI changes, fixed an issue where the current gamepad bindings were lost when resetting the keyboard bindings. Fixed an issue with the crosshair that caused headshot hit indicators to show based on damage done rather than the hit location. Fixed an issue where player names above the health bar could sometimes get cut off. Fixed an issue where the subtitle preview would not hide correctly when exiting settings. Fixed team member names sometimes staying transparent after respawn. Fixed an issue that prevented player outlines on enemies appearing when looking through metal fences. And fixed an issue where some settings in the settings screen would not be affected by restoring default. And as for general setting changes, they made 2 changes to the VoIP setting. They set VoIP to be enabled by default on PC with push to talk set as the default input, and they set VoIP to be enabled by default on console with voice activated set as the default input, and this is both for new installs only. And for the weapons, they fixed an issue where bullet dispersion / spread would not update if the player switched between items. Throwing knives will now have the correct skin when thrown, and they fixed a cheat exploit with melee weapons. Well guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a ton of information and that's why I'm gonna have this video sectioned off. But if you guys want to see more videos like this of me explaining the patch notes and updates done to the game, definitely let me know in the comment section down below and leave a like on the video. I'm also planning to make a video about the recoil in the game right now because after this update, there's a current recoil bloom that's affecting the recoil patterns. And I think as a high level player and to anybody who plays the game casually, this is great knowledge to know and have. Anyways guys, that's everything from me for today. Once again, drop a like on the video and sub to the channel if you haven't. I post a video every other day and I post 2 shorts daily, and I do live stream every single day on my Twitch channel, which is the first link in the description. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, much love.